Live from the Outpost Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy, brought to you by IPMNation.com. Get ready for the gong heard round the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good evening and welcome to the 361st, Wayne just tells me, the 361st episode of All Natural Being, coming to you on IPMNation.com/TR now. If you're out and about and on the go, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're listening on the radio, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're here for Fly on the Wall video, of course, it's Facebook.com/Brian Brawdy Official, and we're going through, all of our local ramp up that starts each evening where we're not really sure if it's going to go through or not going to through, but it looks like it's going through now. So let me take this opportunity to thank our good friends at Telestream and Wirecast for giving us the ability to broadcast the video to here on Facebook and also over at IPM Nation. And also over at YouTube as well. So thank you very much for that. I super appreciate it. And then what we're going to do this evening is, it's Lee Words Wednesdays. So it's Wednesday, so that means it's Lee Words Wednesdays, I guess is the way I want to say it. Isn't it 362? Candace, let me tell you, it could very well be 362. I have 361 down, but, got a few things on my mind. Or a few things not on my mind, as it were. It could very well be 362. I think it's 361, but Wayne will let me know here before too long if I messed that up. But good evening, John. Thank you so very much. Candace, thank you. Henry, good evening. Alice, nice to see you. And Wayne. So Wayne is at 361, 362, tomato for the most part, I know, but if you could let me know, that would be great. Jamie, nice to see you. I hope you noticed I'm sporting my Snoopy. Hang on, Snoopy. Rita, thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. It's great to see you. And as we prepare for the incomparable, as I say all the time, Kelly, thank you so very much as we, absolutely, if we prepare for the incomparable. Kelly, thank you for watching us and joining us here at All Natural Being. As we get ready for Lee Rowley tonight and Lee Words Wednesday, let me say hello to Daniela. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. It could be 362. Candace is probably more right than I am. It could be 361. I'm really not sure what it is. Thank you, Jamie, very much. But before we jump to it this evening, because I'm really excited to share some of this news with you, it dawned on me the other day. Someone asked me yesterday, and we didn't talk about it last evening, but they asked me, they said, well, why are you doing this? What is it? Good evening, Sarah. Thank you so very much for joining us. As I said, here at All Natural Being, we're really not sure what the episode is. I'm just glad to be doing it, right? So they asked me, well, why are you doing it? What's the big deal? And it all goes back. I'll share with you this quick little thought. All goes back. They roll me into the operating room and everyone's pointing and go, oh, you're the guy with the golf ball? Yeah, I'm the guy with the golf ball. 4. I remember hollering, 4. Mind if I play through? And a few people laughed. Most everyone looked at me and gone, nah, it's already affected your cognition. But in any event, good evening, Joseph. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. And the reason that I'm doing this, the reason that I'm going for the 81 to win, the reason I'm so excited about the Guinness World Records is it's indelibly etched in my hearing, in my mind. Sarah, episode 361. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm lying there, tubes running into my veins. You get the drift. Everything, all the IVs, everything else is getting started. Good evening, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you. Marcia, thank you so very much. Hi to you as well. Greetings and salutations, Joseph. Wayne, it is 361. 358 was redone because of audio technical problems. Whoa. Well, there we go. So I'm lying there, right, in my little schmuck, whatever it is that they put you in. They run everything. They put you in this little head rest, or, this head net kind of thing. And I'll never forget the doctor saying, it's important to remember now, before Brian goes into surgery, that you will have a pre-tumor Brian and you'll have a post-tumor Brian. That his entire life will be represented from this moment on as pre and post-tumor. So it had to be a horrible thing for Ashley to hear. It wasn't crazy. Me, as nuts as I am, I was like, yeah, it's not going to be that way. Don't worry about it. It had to be a horrible thing for Ashley to hear that, everything in the future is going to be based on the pre and post-tumor. And then when I got out, we got all the complications. You know the whole story. The shunt, now that they're finally pulling the shunt out of me, a friend of mine texted me today and goes, wow, how are you going to do it? And I said, shuntless. That's how I'm going to do it. Shuntless. Good evening, Barth. Nice to see you, brother. Thanks so very much for joining us. Hanging out here at All Natural Being. Well, just so you know, I did try to return your call the other day. You never pick up your phone. I don't blame you. Especially if you have caller ID and you see it's me. I'd let that go to voicemail. So in any event, I'm just haunted by this speech that my doctor gave saying there's going to be a pre-Brian and a post-Brian, that tumor will mark a bifurcation point, right? It will mark a fork in the road in his life. And then when I got out and we had all the complications and everything started going wrong and I started leaking fluid and I started with the amnesia, which is always fun, let me tell you. And I started with the constant nausea and the blah, 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 blah. I've never forgotten the doctor saying, look, this is going to be life-altering. There's going to be a pre and a post. And a part of my bounce back is, although I am brain damaged, right? It won't take anyone listening very long to figure that out. I've got pictures, right? You hear the line, oh, my mom had me tested. Well, I've got pictures. A part of my brain is actually damaged. But I refused, and I still refuse, to buy into that doctor's opinion. And if I'm subject to buying into that doctor's opinion, then I'll say, great, there was a pre-Brian and a post-Brian, and I think the brain tumor was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And that the post-Brian, mentally deranged as I am, the post-Brian is better than the pre-tumor Brian. That's all I'm saying. Not better in a way where you can go, oh, Brian thinks he's better. Not that kind of way, but just in terms of all of it and the lessons that life, that fate, even in fate's attempt to chop block me with the tumor. The bounce back is to say that minus all of that, or in light of all of that, maybe the doctor's right. There's going to be a pre-Brian and a post-Brian. They just had no clue that the post-Brian was going to believe that he was better post than he was pre. You hear the term in law enforcement, Bart, you'll know this. Joseph, you'll probably know this. I know Henry knows this, Wayne knows this, but, left of bang, the actions you take before the gun's fired, or right of bang is actions you have to take after the bang, right? After the traumatic event. So right of bang, I think they expected me to be a house husband. I think they expected me to just fold. When I got out of there and they said, oh, well, you're never going to, we don't want you lifting more than a gallon of milk. And I said, well, it's a good thing. I hate the taste of milk. You don't have to worry about me lifting a gallon of it. So I guess a part of what I wanted to share with you this evening is there been a time in your life where you can look back and you go, wow, that's definitely a traumatic event in my life. And there was a left of bang and a right of bang. Well, you still dictate how you're going to live, how you're going to think. I was over to school today, and I was coming out of the school, and I saw this parent bent over and he was talking to one of their little, you are a superhero now. Thank you, Joseph, at least in my own mind, right, brother? Thank you very much. Well, I don't have special powers now, but I will once they pull this shunt out of me. I'll be shuntless. And I'll be minus the alibi when people say to me, did you just say that? And I go, that was the shunt talking. Or, the whole alibi of having amnesia from time to time come and goes. Please, you can go, when someone says, did you just do that? And I go, maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Really not sure. I'm going to miss those days. You know what I mean? I'm going to miss this bracelet and the chafing that you get under your wrist when you have to wear an ID because you could forget who you are at any moment. 1994 is mine, Jennifer says. All right, let's take a quick call. We'll go right here. Good evening. Thank you for calling All Natural Being. Who is this?
Hey, it's Lee Rowley. How's it going?
Good, Lee. How are you, sir?
Oh, if I were any better, I'd be twins, and that would be horrible.
Well, no. Well, it would be just like at least your alter ego of Fallout Bob.
That's true.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
man. I love that video the other day, though. You did a great job. Congratulations,
Thank you.
brother. And thank you thank you. I mean, it's your namesake here, right? Lee Words Wednesdays. And people say, well, how'd you come up with Lee Words? Well, I wanted it to be, in the world of copywriting, in the world of any kind of writing. There's a pretty stiff headwind if you want to be authentic. And Lee Words keeps you out of the wind, keeps you out of the gale force. So that's where I came up with Lee Words. So thank you so much, very much, brother, especially night after the big election. Thank you so much. And, can I just say one thing, Lee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if I throw it out to you, then it'll keep me from saying it like in public, keep me from posting it. But this big wave that was supposed to occur, we basically witnessed a wave that if you were a surfer, you'd be better off taking a popsicle stick to it than a surfboard. That's all I'm saying. All right, so now it's out of me. I don't have to put it out anywhere. I give it to you. And thanks for chuckling
Fair
along.
enough. Well, glad I could help.
But thank you, brother. I appreciate it. So
what I'm here for.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So what do you want to talk about this evening?
Yeah, well, what to talk about?
I know, right?
I remember that a while back you told me that maybe you could use some help. And, I'm like, I think my thought was like, well, yeah, Brian could use a lot of professional help. But,
Lee, we only have 20 minutes. It's a half-hour show.
That wasn't what you had in exactly what you were talking about, I don't think. So, you care to share a little bit about what we chatted about the other day?
Sure. Well, here's the thing. As you know, right, as I said, it's only a 30-minute show. We only have,
Sure.
10 minutes or so left. So if we were going to go on a list of all the ways that I need professional help, right, we'd be here all night, which would be great if you could call in during the 81 to win marathon, because we could go on and on and on about all the help I need. But here's the thing, is I prepare to do this attempt at a world's record. And I get certificates to give away for people that helped me in terms of, so it's not just going to be me when I win on Valentine's Day in 19. It said, holding the world's record. It's going to be the people that help me. You get a plaque, you get an assist. So I thought, well, what do I really need? Thank you, Alice, very much. I appreciate that, Alice. So what do I really need other than professional, psychiatric help? What do I really need? I need help with, how do you create really cool copy? How can you create a compelling image of what it is we're going to attempt to do in the 81 hours, the longest live call-in radio talk show, and what it's going to take to win a record? So I thought, you know what? Lee would be he is the perfect guy to talk about creative copy. And so that's what I was, when I said I needed help, it was with that in mind. So what do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got some time now. You backed it up a little bit, yes. And that's really the biggest thing that we need on our side, because all good copy is truly experimental.
Sure.
I don't care what the template makers say about it.
Mm-hmm.
All good copy is experimental, and it takes a few runs, to find something that sticks. But there's so much to stick with this. Not only are you going to smash through a world record, you're going to do it live.
Yep.
And, it's going to be educational. It's going to be funny. It's going to be, ridiculous, if I have anything to say about it.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, absolutely. I'm down with getting that copy, with getting that messaging, from the ads to the website, whatever you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to strategically choose all those things to get the most eyeballs possible on 81 to win, and just drive home that traction and that passion and that enthusiasm, and just get everybody excited.
Well, one thing that I was thinking about, Lee, is that maybe what I'll do is see if I could come in, because I signed up the other day, come into Sales Copy Academy now that you're getting ready for the big launch, and use me as like a crash test dummy, right? use me like a hamster on a wheel and go, oh, okay, well, for people to come into Sales Copy Academy, here's what you're going to learn. Here's what you're going to do. Blah, 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 blah. And then let me just be, your test pilot. Let me be the Petri dish. Let me also say hello to Kathy. Kathy, thank you for watching and joining us here on All Natural Being. So what I would love to do, Lee, if it's cool with you, is I'd like to take my membership in Sales Copy Academy and go, okay, right, can I target your brilliance and your expertise to this 81 to win? Because as you know, in addition, right, it's going to be Henry Noel's, I believe it's his 10th wedding anniversary. And the second reason I picked Valentine's Day is it's the 2-year anniversary of the placement of the damn brain shunt. Right. So maybe I could come into Sales Copy Academy and I'll be a really cool student, right? I'll take copious notes. I'll do everything that I have to do to make it work. And then I'll put all that towards... What's up, Brother B? Sue, nice to see you. Sue is like, how you have Fallout Bob?
Yeah.
Well, Sue is my alter ego. But here's what happens, especially when you have amnesia. You come in, and I go, oh, good evening, Brian Brawdy. And I go, wait a minute, I'm Brian Brawdy. How did that happen? Sup, Brother B? Sue, nice to see you sliding in. Thank you so very much. So that's what I'm thinking. And I'm excited to be able to tell Sue then that, I can study really hard in Sales Copy Academy, and I'll be learning from one of the best in the business. So that's what I wanted to pitch you on. And, of course, I couldn't do it in person, right? I had to do it live so that, I'd had to strong-arm you into taking me under your wing.
Hey, I'm happy too. Somebody that jealous is like kind of crazy. I mean, that's awesome. And I think we'll go beyond that. I think we're going to go a step further than that, Brian.
Okay.
Here's what I want to do.
Okay, let's hear it.
I actually want to document all this. I think we should do videos.
Yeah, I agree.
Document the process. Our successes and mistakes too. I want people to understand that this isn't a perfect process.
I think it's a great idea.
But yeah. So we'll release some videos. We'll take some footage and show everybody what we're up to.
Okay.
Maybe Bob will pop in every once in a while.
Oh, I get to meet Fallout Bob in person?
Let me tell you something. You think this is so great, but if you haven't met Bob yet,
no.
right? So
no.
Bob is a sanctimonious doorknob, is what he is.
As doorknobs go, right? As doorknobs go.
Yeah. He buys his judgy pants in bulk. For real.
Oh, that's nice.
What really drives me nuts about this guy, we've all got this one friend, right, that we just love him to death, and they drive us nuts. Bob's a walking contradiction. He doesn't even know where he's from. One minute he's telling you about working in the uranium mines in Siberia, and the next minute he's all, oh, did I mention I had tea with the Queen this past afternoon? The Queen was lovely, but the crumpets were a bit off, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I know those types. Which is not a good segue, even though I want to say a quick hello to David Ray Bowman and also to Matt Connerton from IPMNation.com. That was not a segue into saying I know people that are always like that. And then, oh, by the way, hi, David. Hi, Matt. It was not a segue. I'm not implying that those two guys or anything like it. Matter of fact, they're both inspiration. They're both mentors of mine. So it's kind of wild to watch their names pop up, knowing they're listening to the show when you're here and Henry's here. So I thank you for your time. But I don't want it to all be about me this evening. Give me an idea when you said that copy is experiential. Right? What did you mean by that when you said it's going to take a little bit of time? I can't get a full report by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. from you? You just can't write all of this overnight? What did you mean by when you said the true copy, authentic copy, is experiential?
Yeah. It's experimental in the sense that, you just don't know. I've said before that there have been, sales pages that I've written and I've kicked my feet back and go, man, this thing's going to sell like gangbusters. And then the next thing my client's back going, I thought you said you could string words in a row. Conversely, there have been things that I never would have thought would have worked, but I'm like, you know what, all right, let's give it a try, and have produced phenomenal results. So any copywriter who tells you that, man, you can just nail it and reel in your audience on the first try is probably just lying to you.
I believe that.
It's people like to to overstate their achievements, and I think that's a lot of what we see a lot of times in the marketing world, and that's why we run into such high expectations for ourselves. But what we're going to be really doing is just digging in and finding your audience, finding out who your who this whole thing speaks to the most, and then finding those connection points to really make them want to cheer you on, to listen, to watch, to participate. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, you know what else I was thinking too is I really hope, Lee, that it's not just about me and what I'm doing, but that it could in any way. Henry's always saying if you inspire one person, right, and you get that one person inspired, then your life's been a good gig. But what I hope that we can do in this 81 to win is go, wait a minute, there's a few things stacked against him of late, and he's still going for it, so that other people looking at this could say, well, I know what it's like to have the deck stacked against me. So if this dope can do it, then I most certainly can. And so that's what I hope comes from it, is this whole sense of your philosophical brain tumor, right? Like those things that you have going on that you think derail you from life. But what if you just decide to square your shoulders, put your heart's highest priority top of the list? And, you may not be able to say, well, Brian, how long has this been on your bucket list? The Guinness World Record thing came about. Lee, hold on one second. We got another call coming in. Can you hang for another call?
Absolutely.
Hold on 1 second. Good evening. Welcome to All Natural Being. Who's this?
This is Henry, Mr. Brawdy.
Henry,
how are you,
good, brother. How are you?
Doing well tonight?
I think, I'm just like a quarter quart low. So that's good. As being 2 quarts low. Hey, Lee's on with us too. Lee and Henry. Henry, say hello to Lee.
Hi, Lee. How are you, kiddo?
I'm fantastic as always. And yourself?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
So, Henry, while we have you on, what do you got going on in the next half hour? I'll catch you up quickly and say that Lee has agreed to take me under his wing, right? Apparently, to let me into Sales Copy Academy, and then help me in terms of some of the creative writing. No one can do it like Lee does. I mean, he's just a brilliant guy. He's agreed to help in terms of this 81 to win and everything for the Guinness World Records. So he was like, yeah, why don't we put you through all the paces and go from there? So that's some huge news this evening.
Oh, that is fantastic. Thank you, Lee. That is just wonderful. Wow.
Absolutely. These are my favorite projects to work on, and the ones that I'm truly passionate about. So, I mean, you didn't have to ask me twice. I'm really digging this, and I really dig what you're doing, and I can't wait to just crush it with this.
Well, I thank you, because I've been called worse things than projects. So I love being a project to me, right? You, my friend, will do this and so much more. Barth, thank you very much. Joseph, so high tech. Yeah, well, I know, Joseph, right? We've spent hundreds of millions of dollars and all kinds of hours with Wayne telling me how to do it, but we have 2 callers calling in at once. Henry, don't let me talk through the whole thing because you only have a minute and then you got to bail. What are you talking about tonight on Thinking Re-envisioned, one of the new shows in the top 10 of IPMNation.com? What do you got going on this evening?
Well, thank you, Brian. I figured with the elections that over now, and the backstabbing has now returned to, down to euphemisms, I guess.
Okay.
And the call from everybody to go ahead and finally unite, around the new administration. I figured, I'm going to find out. Let's see what people think about it. What would they like to see happen? If now that there's a new swing in the Congress, what would they like to see happen?
Cool.
So I'm going to open it up to everybody to voice their opinions as to what it is that they would like to see go on now that the government has swung one way to the other.
Well, I got to tell you, Henry, everyone says, I want bipartisanship. I go, I don't know. I think I like the arm wrestling. Well, I want to reach across the aisle. Yeah, I don't think I want anyone reaching across the aisle. Do what you think is right and out of the battle, right?
That's it.
Everything will happen right the way it should. Good evening, Marcellus. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. Lee, what do you think with all the craziness going on? As I said, earlier, this big wave we were all waiting on. If you're a surfer, you'd be better off taking a popsicle stick to the wave than a surfboard, right? What do you think about this? And is Henry on to something by saying to other people, hey, where do you want this to turn? Isn't it odd, though, Lee, that the guy from South America is the one that's calling in the show to ask what's happening to all the rest of us here in North America?
Honestly, as I said to Henry last week, that's a topic for greater minds than mine.
Uh-oh.
You know,
This
with-
just in. Fallout Bob says, who are you calling a doorknob? And I go, this would be an opportune time, Henry, and you should learn from this as well. This is an opportune time to say that the views expressed by Lee in the show are not necessarily the views of all natural being, any of the attorneys, the accountants, any of the families that rely on this show making a living. So Fallout Bob, if you've got a fight to pick, I'd reach across the aisle and smack Lee. So just so you know, Fallout Bob wants to know who you're calling a doorknob. Mary says, amen. No reaching across the aisle. Totally agree. And I know, Henry, you've got to run, but give me another 20 seconds before you go. I was started to say this thing that I went today, and I heard a little kid was crying about something, and the father kneels down and is talking to the kid, and he goes, "Oh, so tell me, how did that make you feel?" And I thought, wait a minute. Thank you, Marcia. Wait a minute. How does it make? Who cares how you feel? Well, for 2 years, I haven't felt like getting out of bed. But I get out of bed. I'm beginning to believe that maybe we have an entire generation that we're building to say, oh, how does that make you feel? Well, tough nerds. You do it anyways.
I'm surprised that the kid didn't punch him in the nose and say, I don't know, Dad, how does that feel?
Yeah, how does that feel? Whoa, 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 whoa. And then he could go like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right? But I love the Three Stooges. I guess you couldn't tell. But you know what I mean, Lee? Oh, well, how did that make you feel? When did we get hijacked by all this feeling stuff? Just get out there and do your damn job, reaching across the aisle. Not without so that's just my part. And I always get in trouble. And I know Sue's watching. You can tell when I know Sue's online because I spend most of my time standing up straight. All right, Henry. Like, I don't want to fight with Sue, right? Henry, I know you got to run. We will let you go. I promise I'll hit the call time. So thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
I'll let you say goodbye to everybody.
All righty. Take care, everybody. Lee, thank you very much. And everybody, hang on.
That's
We're coming up real short.
Yeah,
so.
4 minutes, 3 minutes. All right,
I'll catch
sounds
you later.
good.
Absolutely. All right.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
Okay, man.
Go get him, Henry.
He's such a great guy, you know it. So I was thrilled to death to see his show jump right into the top 10 as quickly as it did. All right, Lee, you are the Three Stooges. Oh, that's a great idea. So now let's just be straight, Candace. Are you saying Lee? I don't think she could mean Henry. He's too smart to be a stooge. But could it be Lee, Brian, and Fallout Bob? Oh, you know what? There's another thing we could do. It could be you, me, and Fallout Bob are the Three Stooges.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, so we're doing, we're doing copy decontaminated. Fallout Bob and I, and you're going to be, you're going to be in on that. So,
Sure.
It'd be great if you had some lines in there too, because I mean, it's just me and a guy in a gas mask. It's going to get old. So
Well, can I give you a little bit of how I think I'll like to write the open?
Okay.
Fallout Bob should ask you to pull his finger. That's okay. See, that's the thing. That's what I'm going to miss the most, Lee, because they're going to go, did you just make a fart joke? And I'll go, it was the shunt. It was the shunt talking. Oh, I don't even remember saying that. So there you go. All right, so Lee, parting thoughts before I get ready to go. And now they don't let me blather on. Like I gotta be off air to make room for Henry. So I bet everybody's loving that. But parting thoughts before we let you go. And thank you again for letting me in to Sales Copy Academy. All joking aside, and all pull my finger jokes aside, I'm really thrilled to be learning from you. So thank you, brother, very much.
Right on. Yeah, no, I'm right back at you. And just I've said many times that I believe that if you are your own best copywriter. I honestly agree with that, and I believe in that wholeheartedly because I think it's your voice, your vision, your passion that's going to drive this whole thing. And we just got to mold it into the right message so that we can connect with lots of people and change lots of lives, right?
Well, I appreciate that. And we mentioned last night the map of the world, and I'd like to get all 190 or 191, 92, whatever it is now. Every country in the world will get to call in during the 81 to win. So if I forget to mention that to you tomorrow or the next day, I have 4 boys. Mary says, I totally get the fart joke. Well, thank you, Mary. Thank you, Bart, very much. Lee, we'll let you go. Thank you, brother, from the bottom of my heart. I super appreciate it. We're going to get out of here in just a little bit, so we will see you over the next couple of days.
All right. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thanks so much, brother. Talk to you soon. All right, bye now. All right, so there you have it, the 361st. I think it's now confirmed. Thank you, Marcia, very much. Thank you, Kathy, very much. The 361st episode of All Natural Being is coming to an end. I hate to keep looking down at the phone, and I apologize, but this is where I get... this is where I get all the messages from, so now you know what that's all about. But I thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. We'll be back tomorrow night. It's Thursday night, right? So we're going to come back tomorrow night. We'll have some new ideas and some new things that are going on, some things to catch you up on, the GoFundMe thing that we're talking about, some of the other things. So we'll have all that. But thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being, and we will see you tomorrow night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly appreciate it. See you soon.